So in the immortal words of Richard Madeley and our very own Darren Shepherd,
welcome back
to another episode of Forest Beyond the Tracks.
We'll get lost in the forest beyond the trees.
So by some funny coincidence, this is episode 7, and we are also going to talk about the 7 official music videos that we have made. But before we get into talking about the music videos and the kind of fun we had making them and the kind of thoughts behind them, I just want to ask you guys, when we come out the lockdown, well, eventually, and I'm not saying obviously no one knows when, what's the first thing you're looking forward to when we come out? Matthew, what's that?
It's a very good question, Tom.
Anything you want to go and see, do, touch? Neil?
No.
I cannot wait to cut my hair. I have had enough. Since I made the decision that I wanted to cut it short again, now I just the bane of my life every day. I just want to get rid of it. So yeah,
kitchen scissors or something.
Well, yeah, I don't want to look like a knobhead any more than I normally do.
First thing that I'm looking forward to most is being able to book some flights to go somewhere again, because I had a big America trip planned and that's all been cancelled.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. No, I think having a fresh pint from the pub, from the BT to be precise.
The BT being
Bermuda Triangle.
In case anyone is not aware, Bermuda Triangle in Ashley Cross, one of the best pubs in Dorset, Poole area.
Probably give those eggs back to Chinese. My friend brought a house.
Feel a bit guilty.
I do. My friend brought a house recently, and he's brought like a barbecue for it in regards to when we can all go around. So I look forward to doing that. See all our friends again, barbecue, a few beers, and just look forward to just doing that stuff as and when, and not having to sort of be told we're allowed out.
Oh, and getting in a rehearsal room again.
Just
making some noise.
Nobody's actually said, get back together again, making music.
Want to go on holiday and have a barbecue, cut our hair. I think those are all essentials, and have a beer, together. All sounds pretty good.
We could probably do all that in one afternoon if we're clever enough.
Yeah. And then we'll be bored again.
And then we'll be like, right.
See you in 7 weeks.
Yeah.
See you later. I'm going home again.
I've quarantined myself.
So today we're going to talk about, I said, our music videos, which are all available on YouTube, our YouTube channel. We're going to have a watch and listen after the podcast. So we're going to sort of look at these in what makes sense, would be chronological order that they were kind of released. So first on the hit list is December, which came from our Red Light EP. So this was shot in 2011, pretty much just down the road from where we all are, like Swanage, Purbeck, Dalston area, and a bit of Hengistbury Head. So, guys, do you have any big memories from that shoot? Because it was pretty early start from what I remember.
It was fucking windy in Hengistbury Head.
And cold.
I remember we were standing on top of the cliffs. We're trying to get this shot, and I think it's even in the music video. Whoever's got long hair, it's going all over the place. But I remember just jumping up, and the wind was just pushing me back. I was like, geez.
Yeah, that wasn't staged. That was real wind.
That was
got very fortunate.
We haven't got the kind of budget or crew to stage those things.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't Boom Slam for, fanning us with table tennis paddles.
Yeah, big shout out to Boom Slam. He did help us on this video and a few others, which we will go into a bit later. He was our main camera operator during this arduous shoot, which took place, from what I remember, it was like a Saturday or Sunday morning, and we all had to get up really, really early to travel, like 5 a.m. or something, because in the dark, in December, to make it authentic as possible, to try and capture a sunrise, which I don't know if you guys were aware of that why we were getting up so early, but it didn't. Unfortunately, didn't come across in the no.
If
in the final video. Yeah.
The best part about it is, even if you'd have caught the sunrise, you still filmed it and put it in black and white anyway.
Yeah, I did. But I was still optimistic that that you could see that through on the horizon line. But yeah,
Black
that's a
and
very good
white.
point. Good point, Neil. Very good point. But I think the video it looks better in black and white, though. Would you agree? Or how do you guys feel about it being a black, like having you seen yourselves in black and white in a really arty kind of half pretentious, half serious video?
I think it works. I
Yeah.
joke, but I do like it in black and white. And I mean, I think that was. I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, Tom's obviously got a film background and has done many projects and has done some really hilarious ones, really interesting films that he showed us plenty of times before we worked on the videos. And Tom was responsible for kind of directing and filming a lot of these and editing them and putting them together. So this was the first one that we all worked on together. And it was the first one where I think we all saw what we could do and what Tom could do.
Darren, didn't you like turn up without a jacket?
Yeah, that's about right.
So it's December.
It was like 5 a.m.
Yeah, like
on some cliff tops.
I didn't have one either.
You had a scarf, Matt. I think that was it, or like some sort
I had
of
I had
tea
a scarf, but yeah.
I don't think I was anticipating the sort of the day ahead. It was too early to think about those things.
I was just dishing out jackets. I think I had about 3 of my jackets made the final edit of that video.
Yeah.
Different people were wearing them.
Yeah, I had one of your jackets on.
Handy.
Yeah.
I had a really cool like RAF looking jacket that I got from like an army surplus store. And I loved that jacket, but it was just like, it was huge. You could only wear it in the most Arctic conditions. So like that video shoot was perfect. Still cold though.
Yeah. Anyone got any favorite shots or favorite moments filmed in that video? Because there was, I say, we had it was kind of split over a couple of days because for various reasons. But does anyone have any?
I thought we did it all on one day. I thought because we went over to the Jurassic Coast and we filmed really early, and we got loads of shots there.
Yeah.
But
then we had
the
did your
battery died.
run out?
Yeah. So this is how well prepared we were. Yeah, we didn't anticipate like it taking as long as it did or the battery level, and it died. Yeah, basically mid-morning.
Then we went home, charged it up, and we didn't want to go all the way back out to
No, we did
Swanage.
We did go
again.
back.
Yeah.
So we did it all in one day. We went back. We went to Swanage in the morning, back to Swanage again, and then to Hengistbury Head. I thought we did it all in one day.
I think we did Hengistbury Head the following weekend.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Basically, I realised we needed some more shots to just sort of fill it out a little bit. And
See, even the smallest studios need reshoots.
everyone needs reshoots. I mean, and you guys were really committed, so I was really grateful we could go and like film some more stuff because it looks good.
Didn't someone try and tell us off for filming them?
Yeah, some guy got quite irate that we didn't have like permission from the council, or like because it was Delston Castle Country Park or something, and he was like, "What are you doing up here? You know, are you?" And we're just like, "Yeah, we're just making a film. Who cares? You know, just let us be."
Yeah, we thought it was a possibility that people might get the hump about it, which is one of the other reasons why we tried to go in early, wasn't it?
Who got attacked by a dog?
It was Tom.
Well, I don't think attacked is probably a bit of an exaggeration.
But then
But-
you screamed like a little girl.
Well, little girls are often scared of dogs, so that's fine.
It was a tiny dog as well,
It was
wasn't
like
it?
a Jack Russell suffered.
I think you were concentrating so hard on what you were filming that you didn't see the dog coming up in your peripheral vision, and it was right up behind you. I just remember you leaping in the air, going, "What? What?"
Yeah, I think I had loads of paper as well, like the shots. I think they just went everywhere up in the air because I was just panicked of what something was about to like maul me. Yeah, so managed to survive the shoot, and we got all the shots thankfully on the reshoot. So it was worth it. We put ourselves through those conditions of freezing cold weather and lack of coats and scary terrier dogs.
And I suppose all of that is a long way around to saying my favourite shot in the video is probably the moment where you get to, it was you, Tom, where you get to the coast, or you get to that kind of pebble beach. You get to the water and you drop to your knees with the camera behind you. I thought that was so cool.
My favourite part was, and if you notice very carefully, there's a moment where we're walking up this hill and it splits between all of us. And you can catch Tom. Tom's got a runny nose. Where his nose touches the horizon line behind him, you could just see this little stream of of a runny
I've
nose.
never noticed that.
Thanks, Jack, for reminding everyone of that. I'd hope you weren't going to bring that up. That's why I didn't put it on the sheet.
Our YouTube views are going to go sky high on that video now.
It's not that great. I mean, it was a cold day. We've been out for many hours. I had some sniffles.
I don't know why I noticed it.
happens. But
It
it
was
made it
just
into the final
real.
video.
Yeah, it was real.
Just goes to show how cold it was.
I was really, really like worried that I didn't want to look like it was just lip syncing. I didn't want to look stupid or look really fake. So I said, I'll just sing it. I'll just sing it normally. Probably not the best idea at 5 a.m. in the middle of a field where there's like dog walkers and stuff, and I'm belting out December, singing it at full volume.
It was quite a close shot, isn't it? It's almost a bit Sinead O'Connor.
That's what I was going for,
right in
yeah.
your face.
And I think that shot in particular was supposed to be was just sort of taken from Foal's Spanish Sahara video, and that was sort of a bit of an influence on part of the other style of the video as well. I don't know if any of you guys know the video or anyone are listening. Yanis like walking around, some like icy fjords in Sweden or something. But he sings the song direct to camera, and I really like that. And so I thought, yeah, let's get Neil to do that. It will look great. And he was up for it, and I think it gets the emotion of the song across because he gives a good performance as well, despite being 5 a.m. So that was the only music video we shot for Red Light, because that was like the big song off that EP. So the next music video we moved on to was one which was about 7 months in the making for One Night in Munich. So this was more of a compilation of live gig footage that we'd filmed at various places in London, Bournemouth, and even in Croatia. And perhaps we can talk about some of those venues that were captured in the video. Particularly, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on Bournemouth Sevens Festival, which is like a rugby festival. The day we shot the video in particular, does anyone remember how the day began or where we actually played our set?
During the day, it was my brother's stag do, which was also at Bournemouth Sevens. And being rugby lads themselves, they were obviously all drinking quite heavily through the day, and I was managing to keep up with them. Drinking a lot of stuff. And then somehow I managed to make it on stage and somehow play the gig okay-ish, as far as I know. So yeah, that's my memory of Bournemouth Sevens, but I don't think that was the time that we filmed for that video.
Yeah, that day we filmed the video, we were like the first band on in the biggest beer tent there.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody watching us, a couple of people just walking by, and we're thinking, you know what, let's wrap this up and start joining them in like drinking and all that. And in the video, I just like to say a big thank you for Bret the Hitman Hart for turning up.
He makes a good cameo.
He flew all the way in from Montreal, Canada, just to
He's
be
a big
there.
Empire Affair fan.
Massive. He's got T-shirts, posters, and you name it. He's got a drumstick somewhere.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He was great to work with. Very, very easy. Doing a sharpshooter on everyone that way you did.
Sharpshooter. I think actually in the actual video he's at a cash machine, so he's very generous as well. He brought on beers. Yeah. After he sharpshooted them, he got him a Jägermeister.
Like we filmed, I was going around filming. This sounds a bit weird, but I was going around. Had this really old camera that was the only thing I had at the time, and it was like this old school format, which at the time you didn't see it very much. It's been made more and more popular now because everyone's getting into really like. I hate being that guy that says like, "Oh yeah, we were there before anyone else," and we weren't there before anyone else, but we had it at the time anyway. We were using the old school format, going around this camera, and people probably just thought I was from the festival because I was going around in like one of the beer tents later in the day through the crowds of people with this old school camera, and they probably thought, oh, this guy must be from the festival, like filming some like memorabilia sort of stuff. And I was literally just putting this camera in people's faces, and they were just acting bananas. They just thought, this is like brilliant as a camera, let's just start posing. So there's loads and loads of shots of people in the video. We have no idea who they are, and if you are listening, we'd love to hear from you and see if you ever find that video. Let us know and see what you make of it. But yeah, some of it has to see. I mean, I've got loads of it. I mean, the only stuff that makes it in the video is very, very small amount. But it was so much fun, I must say, as well, going through that tent with this camera and getting these people to just film them in their element, having a great time.
It's been edited very well to make it look like those people were enjoying our set.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been further from the truth.
But so that was one of the places which features in the video. Another one is a place in Bournemouth called the Anvil. What's your guys' memory of any memories of playing down there?
Absolute sweatbox. Always has, always will be. I remember playing there when it was called iBar, when it was like a technological sort of...
Some sort of like geeky
bar.
hangout. Lovely.
Yeah, like computers everywhere and leads and wires. And
It was started by the guy that created them Worms video game.
Was it actually?
So there, yeah.
Wow.
I passed out on that stage in the middle of a gig.
I remember that very well.
Yes.
That's the only time I've ever passed out in my life, and that was on stage. You said it was an absolute sweatbox.
Oh,
And-
yeah. I
And
remember that.
and I just remember just feeling really hot and thinking, fuck me, I don't feel very well. And then the next thing I knew, I sort of opened my eyes and I was lying on Darren's drum kit while Darren was still drumming, and he was just like staring at me. The song was still carrying on, and obviously because I was always quite flamboyant and jumping around on stage, everybody just thought it was part of the show. Yeah, nobody really said anything. I got up, I think I carried on singing the song. In between the songs, I went to the side of the stage and I literally sat on the floor like, holy shit, I feel horrendous. Got back up again and carried on with the rest of the set.
True
Yeah,
professional.
I remember that very well actually. I remember you just falling into was it like a stack of amps on my drum kit. In my head I was like, what is he doing? I was like, it's a bit far.
Only
Still.
time it's ever happened in my life. I did not know what was going on. Like, I figured when you faint, like when you see it in films and stuff, I feel like people know they're going and there's like a slow kind of
Yeah.
descent. But like, I have no recollection of it. I literally was singing 1 second and the next thing I know, I was like looking at Darren playing his drums while I'm like lying over cymbals and amps.
I just thought, fucking hell, what's Neil doing? I remember looking and go, who do you think he is? Iggy Pop or something? Fucking head first into a fucking cymbal stack. I thought it was a part of your sort of show. I was like,
Performance.
like James Brown did, didn't he? He did that sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was that's a cool little venue in Bournemouth. It's still going. Thankfully, it's one of the best venues still going in Bournemouth town at the moment. And just one of the other places I'd just like to touch on in the video that we played at and is featured. We only ever played there once. It's a venue in London. It's got quite a lot of history, I think. Is the Garage in Islington. Now, we had a very short set for what I remember.
Yep. It was, I think it was a couple of days after coming back from Croatia, wasn't it? And we got there and I think we played to 2 people and I don't think either of those were the sound guy. I think even he left.
Never a good sign.
No.
I seem to remember we were on really early as well. And it was like a Tuesday night. We'd driven up to London on like a Tuesday night and we were put on at like 6:15 or something absolutely ridiculous. That garage, it was a venue underneath, like a nightclub underneath. And when we left, it was like absolutely rocking downstairs, but nobody had come upstairs to watch any music.
And one of the other main places that features in the video is a place called, I think the venue's called a Hard Place in Zagreb, on our first tour, and that was a pretty good gig from what I remember. We want to briefly touch on that.
Was it Hard Place or was it in Japania, the last place we played at?
I thought both were in there. I
Yeah,
remember.
I
I think
thought both.
the announcer was from the Hard Place. The announcer's voice over the top at the start of the video. But then I seem to think there's that other one in Japania where the venue was really long.
Yeah.
And you had the 2 walkways over the top that were like looking down on the stage.
I think we might have even got Chakovets in there as well, actually, thinking about it, which was like
Yeah,
the middle,
you're right,
the middle night of that tour. So it's got every night, one night in Zagreb, one night in Chakovets, one night in Županja. But yeah, there were some good crowds out there and some lively people.
Individuals.
Yeah, I took a little video camera over the first time, and I filmed all our gigs, or a lot of the gigs. And tried to film as much of the set as I possibly could. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage anymore, but thankfully, I managed to get some over to Tom, which did make the that cut of the video.
But I think the idea behind the video, well, one of the intentions of the video was to try and capture a bit of or show the energy that we have as a live band and the colour we bring and the kind of enthusiasm that we have on a live stage. And I think it comes across in the video. I'd like to think it does. Because anyone who can't see us or hasn't seen us or even has seen us, it's just nice to see it back, how we are in a stage environment, because that's obviously what we love doing. So we're now going to move on a couple of years and move on to 5 videos that we shot for our EP Pangs, a very ambitious project to kind of make a music video for every track on the EP. So I was, I'm not ashamed to admit this because she is an amazing artist, inspired by Beyonce's visual albums. She released one in like late 2013. And I was thinking, well, that's a good idea. Because she did a music video for every song on the album. I was like, well, why can't we do that? I know it was a crazy idea at the time because we'd only literally done 1-2 music videos prior to this. So let's go and shoot 5, guys. Yeah, let's go and make 5 music videos. Let's just talk through it in order. Perhaps they appear on the EP just for ease for now. But the first one that appears then is Press Reset. It had, well, let's say we employed, in inverted commas, actors to appear in the video. Does anyone want to talk us through what the video means to them or what it shows?
Our good friend Dave, known as Gay Dave. Why is he called Gay Dave?
No one knows.
Okay, well,
I'm sure he appreciates you calling him that. But yeah, good friend.
You know, he's not gay, but
there's nothing wrong with that. If he is,
nothing wrong with that. You know,
We all wish he was.
yeah, we wish he was. He's a good-looking bloke. But anyway,
He is.
so our friend Dave, the video starts off. He wakes up, washed up on the beach, and it was all filmed over at Arn, which is the other side of Poole Harbour, towards Wareham, Swanage way. So yeah, he basically washes up onto the beach, and he's looking a bit dishevelled and wet. What time of the year was it? It was shot.
Well, it looks like it's a really cold sort of autumnal, wintry day, but it was actually July.
It was a beautiful day as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really nice day.
it was another early start. It was like 6, 7 in the morning or something. We got out there, had to get him in the water to get these shots at like 7 a.m.
Fully clothed.
fully clothed. Wasn't best pleased, but he was committed to he knew what he was getting himself in for.
Yeah.
But I don't think he realised
The reality hit.
the reality. Yeah, and I even said, don't shave for like 2 months before going into it. Like I said, we need that for the video. And he was calling me every week, going, "Can I shave my beard off yet?" I was like, "No, just keep it going. We haven't shot the video yet. Just look like a hobo, for a bit longer because it was really scraggly. Sit in the video." But I was so grateful because he was like fully committed to making it, along with Shannon, who played like the other role in the video. She didn't have to get wet or like go in the water or do anything quite as bone shaking as Dave, but she was there and it was good.
And she shaved.
Can't confirm that.
Oh, that's definitely going in.
She hates us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was a friend of yours, wasn't she, Neil? Because I'd never met her before, like the day we were shooting the video.
Yeah, she was. We used to work together in the call center, and yeah, she wanted to get involved. She had a lot of acting background and stuff, so she wanted to get involved, and just kind of perfect for it. So we paired her with Dave for this shoot and another video. I thought they did a really good job, and Dave had to go through so much. Like that water that he had to wake up in was the ocean, so it was cold. It was so cold, and you can see a lot of the shots. Like once he's got out of the water, like he's visibly shaking in a lot of the shots, and that's like he's not acting. Like he was that cold. And the worst thing about it is obviously we had to keep that continuity throughout the rest of the shoot. So when he's walking around, he still had to be somewhat wet. So we had to keep getting bottles of water and keep putting them over him. So he had to keep getting cold over and over and over again. And he took it like a champ. And he didn't wear any shoes, did he? But that wasn't a requirement from us.
No, he felt like that would be more of the role he was playing. He was very committed to like being, like as they say, very method. So he was like just going barefoot through the forest, barefoot in the water. Just when he could have put some comfy shoes on when we were traveling to different locations. No, just this character in the video, he's supposed to be washed up on shore. He's perhaps mirroring the artwork from Pangs. This character, so he should look dishevelled. He should look shipwrecked. He should look like he's been through hell out at sea.
Yeah, he's a bit of a modern day Daniel Day-Lewis, isn't he? Really, really getting into the role.
He is, and every time I see him, he always brings it up about how he got so cold for us for that video shoot, and he always says, "Where are the royalties for the video?" So, Dave, if you're listening,
It'll be a while yet.
It'll be a while yet. So, some of the other ideas that were from the video we were trying to like homage or influence were is it Inception? If you've seen the beginning of that film where Leo DiCaprio wakes up at the beach, bit of very clear reference to Requiem for a Dream, if you've seen that, with the lady in a red dress, and one of my favorite TV shows, Lost, with the button and the press reset button, and also how it ends. There were sort of things floating around in my head when we were making it, because this was like the first time we'd made anything that had like a story in the video itself properly with actors. So mine was just running wild.
I think it was in Press Reset. We tried setting light to a photo. Is that in Press Reset?
Yeah, that's how the video starts, isn't it? With that photo with the Polaroid like burning.
And how many takes did that take, Tom?
Well, let's just say my fingertips were burnt by the time I got the shot.
They don't burn, do they? They don't catch fire like you want them to.
No, it's not like in the movies. I think you've got to like get a proper sort of different coated material paper or something, because it just wouldn't light. And also it was super windy down by the beach when I was trying to shoot this thing. And it must have taken me a good hour to get this one shot of this photograph burning, which we got, we'll always get it. But it just took a lot longer than I would have liked. So second track on the EP is Don't Let Me Down. The video for this involves, four of us for the main part, playing in a circle in the middle of nowhere.
No budget expired on this one. All we needed was a couple of cars and a forest. So we went out to the New Forest.
There's no budget on any of them. It's all low budget filmmaking.
Well, yeah, true.
I loved filming this one though.
Yeah,
this one was a lot of fun.
Basically, when Tom came up with the idea for the video, we needed somewhere where Darren could play his drums loud at night in an open space. I think we went on a bit of a recce around the New Forest and just tried out all these car parks. Went, yeah, that'll do. Oh no, there's a house over there. No, you can't.
Like a bank holiday weekend, wasn't it? We went on an absolute tour all around the New Forest looking for any location. We finally found this one car park that was off the road, didn't have any street lamps, and wasn't barred off after a certain time.
Yeah, perfect. Darren got his drum kit and was able to smash the shit out of it at 1 o'clock in the morning.
We did have to tape tea towels, T-shirts, and anything we could find to the underside of the cymbals and drums and stuff, just to deaden the sound.
I remember I stuffed all the drums with any old rags I found. I had this Bart Simpson head and Lisa Simpson head backpacks for some reason, and just basically made it like a dead sound. So when you kind of, obviously it's basically so I can play, so in the video it looks like I'm actually playing and not just trying to like mimic playing. So that was quite weird to hit a drum and it's making literally hardly any sound. It's just dead.
We also had a couple volunteers, again, good old Boom Slam, and my wifey Hannah running around with smoke cans for extra
Dave as well,
ambience. Sorry?
Was Dave there as well?
Was Dave that?
DCI Dave.
DCI Dave, yeah, of course.
He was like security at the car park, from what I remember, because
that's right.
We didn't want anyone disturbing us. So he was. I think someone did turn up, like a couple of people. He deterred them. They did turn around because I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know what happens in the forest after dark, and I guess we almost found out that night because a couple of cars turned up looking for a bit of fun.
They're dog leads, but no dogs.
So thankfully, they didn't stay around to show us what was about to take place. So we got to film this video. Like a Sunday night up to like 1-2 a.m. in the forest, making a rack. Well, it was quiet, but it was still loud enough if anyone was close to hear it.
Twangy guitars and Darren's cymbals. That's all you could hear.
Yeah, I don't know how we got away with it. So partly, but we did. We got it in the can. We filmed it, like we filmed the song. Must have been done like 10 times or something. Just like going around. Everyone had like close-ups and multiple close-ups, group shots, the whole thing. This sort of circle of light we created from the cars.
The shots with Neil in the back of the car, that wasn't in New Forest, was it?
That was him driving to the New Forest, I think.
Yeah, the concept, we didn't really define what it was, but the idea was that I had to get there in time to join you guys. That was the kind of the narrative of the video. Kind of simultaneously, while you guys were playing, shots of you guys playing in the forest, there were shots of me in the back of car, kind of singing the lyrics again. And that was a challenge to film, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put my back out during that filming because we had to like do circuits around Bournemouth, from like Bournemouth to almost Christchurch and back, to get these shots with just, because you were just lit by street lights, and it was so awkward to keep a steady shot in the car because it's just.
So I was sat in the back seat. I was sat in the middle of the back seat, and you were sat on the passenger seat, facing the back. You'd taken the headrest off, facing the back of the car, trying to hold this camera steady while the car's kind of bouncing around and speeding up and slowing down. I mean, at one point we were on the course, or the route we took included going on the dual carriageway, which is 50 mile an hour, and at a push we were doing 15.
Yeah,
and we were just crawling along the dual carriageway, and we're in the middle of a take, and then Boom, who was driving as well, would just have to speed up because other cars were coming. So that take would then we have to stop the take there. And I don't know how you managed to edit that together, like tying in the vocals with the actual track.
Probably the most difficult one to edit out of all 5 of those ones for Pangs, because it was just like so many different ways, or so many different parts of the songs could be pieced together at any moment with the song. So it took a long time. There was many shots where like the tea towels on Darren's drum kit would appear, or like you would see Hannah in the background like spraying a can of this smoke canister, doing her best to stay out of shot, and it was just impossible. But that's obviously the beauty of the edit, where we can just chop those bits out and only keep the good bits.
Why black and white again on this video?
It looked the footage it looked a bit I don't want to say strange in colour, but it just had more of a presence and tied together in black and white. Just felt more cohesive as one thing, and we just looked cooler, in lights, in very minimal lighting, and in the darkness. It was just it just looked good instantly. So it was a bit of a no-brainer.
There were shots of Neil when he's in the back of the car and it's black and white, and he's got sort of like flashes of light across his face, which remind me of quite sort of film noir-esque, like could be a detective in a seedy Chicago Private Eye sort of film.
We put a different soundtrack on the video, and Neil's instantly like Private Eye. And I remember when we were shooting you in the back of the back seat of the car, Neil. I almost forgot like one of the most important shots was you getting out of the back of the car, which would then it would be the illusion that you would have got out and missed us playing at the final scene together. And I think you'd actually got out and left, and you're walking off, and I had to call you back.
That's
like
right. I was so hungry. I'm pretty sure I'd worked during the day, gone straight to a rehearsal with you guys. Everybody else had gone home, and then me, Tom, and Boom had stayed on afterwards to get these shots. And then we finally finished, and I was thinking, oh, great, I can go home since 7 a.m. this morning, and I can go and eat something. I'm walking down the road, and Tom says, oh, no, I've forgotten. We need to get this last shot. We need to drive half an hour out to the New Forest, to the location, to get this 3-second shot and drive back. And I was not happy.
Yeah, I felt really bad about that. Because I could just see it. It was written all over your face. But I was like, this is the only chance we've got to make this thing. We had to make it happen. So I was very grateful. So moving on, next track on the record is DNA Code. And this was, I think, the last video to shoot. In fact, we shot them all out of order. We shot all the music videos in the time it took to, after we finished recording the record and the kind of date we'd set for the launch. So it was about a 4-month period over the summer of 2014. So from like May to September, we were making these music videos, and there was a lot to fit in. But this was the last one that we shot or had to shoot. And we had to sort of an afternoon into evening one day to nail it, because we were hoping on this magic hour to be at its most glorious, to capture the spirit of the song. And I remember the morning of the shoot, it was raining, and it was getting overcast. And I was thinking, we're just gonna happen? Because time was ticking, and we had to get this in the can. But thankfully, it worked out for the best. If you've seen the video, I think I'm personally really pleased with how this turned out. I don't know what you guys, how you rate the video, if you like it.
I remember when you were talking about when you were like pitching us the concepts for this, and you were talking about the kind of the vintage kind of crime, Bonnie and Clyde, that Americana kind of feel, and you're talking about it, and it was so easy to imagine what you were talking about and how you were seeing it going. And I think the vision is translated into the final product really well. Yeah,
I think we were trying to get sort of a British take on that American road movie, and also that is in the lyrics, and that is the kind of vibe of the song that's in there. Now that's what we were aiming for. So we had this really cool car in the video that Jack hooked us up with. Do you remember how that came about?
Yes. Basically, it was at the time I was working in a shop, and my boss, her husband, had this amazing old vintage Triumph Herald. She said to me, if you ever want to borrow the car for anything, because they loaned it out for weddings and all this and that. And it's a tiny little sports car, like from the early 60s. Late 50s or whenever it was, and it's very unique. And they let us borrow it for the day. So thanks to John and Trish for letting us borrow it for the day, and letting Dave loose behind the wheel. I think he had fun driving that, but I think it made the video the little car as well, the little Triumph.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is. It's such a unique car, and it just looks so good on camera. And yeah, we had Dave and Shannon back for this one to kind of continue their relationship, which we saw in Press Reset. And Dave, I know, had a little bit of trouble driving that stick shift on that car because it's a bit old school, as you can imagine. But I think the shots of them driving around are wicked. But I remember we had a real bit of trouble getting some of those shots for various reasons, because partly other cars, if you're doing these like wide shots, I didn't want any other cars appearing, so we had to wait for like a really clear road, because it was a really open space. You've seen the video, it's in the middle of the New Forest somewhere, and so to get some of these shots of them driving, we had to be in another car to film it. So the only other car available was, I think it was Dave's mum's car for some reason, and the boot was broken on it. So it didn't like stay open. You had Jack sat next to me holding this boot open in this car, and we're both sat on the edge of the boot as we were driving through the New Forest shooting the video. And I was thinking, how many takes are we going to get of this? Because Jack was like, it was pushing it. I remember Jack was like, these takes were like 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time.
Yeah, just like holding. It's like a family car, so the boot's pretty spacey, and the door's quite wide and heavy. And I'm just there, we're just holding it up, and I'm just thinking, come on, he's got to have had the shot now,
Just shout cut.
Yeah, just cut, just crash the car, whatever.
And there was the danger of the fact that we had these like prop like guns in the video as well, and I don't think too much of it at the time, because I was just like concentrating on getting the shots done. But I think about it now, I think if anybody saw us like going around, with these, like, if they didn't see the camera, they just saw these like guns getting obviously there's no bullets or anything.
Because there was a few shots when they were driving, and they had the guns like waving in the air, like out above the car. And so you're right. If anyone else that was driving past or near would have seen that, then get a call from the police.
Yeah, just waiting for like a helicopter to appear above, just ruin the shot. It's like, gotta go again, please, helicopter.
Or it could have made the shot.
It could have made it even better. You're right, Matt. Got to use what you got. Use the moment. Neil makes a guest appearance in this video. Neil, how do you feel about your appearance in the video?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's hiding in that boot, and then kind of getting dragged out and taken round behind back of the bushes to get presumably executed. It was only briefly that I was involved in it, but it looked really cool in the video, and obviously it's quite late in the video. You don't expect it, and it's not set up or anything.
I would have liked you had a dirtier shirt, Neil.
was pretty white, wasn't it?
Yeah. When I watched
clean.
it back, it was like you just like taking it out of the packet from like at M&S that morning. I was thinking, something we forgot to do. I don't think anyone's really paying that much attention to this shirt.
I'd just like to say I had quite a pivotal role in the making of this as well. Not only did I open the boot up, in the production side of things as well, because when Tom was filming whoever it was walking towards them and he had to walk backwards, I had to guide him around copious amounts of horse and cow dung, which, if anybody's been to the New Forest, is every foot away from another fresh piling steam of shit. So if it wasn't for me, Tom could have been falling in shit. Horse shit, cow shit, fox's shit, rabbit shit, human shit.
A lot of shit. I was unaware of that, Jack, so I appreciate you taking him off the team there and making sure you stood in the shit and I didn't.
No, I just let you walk through it. I just didn't let you, fall over.
Good, because it's, we had such a limited amount of time to get it. So the last thing I wanted was to get covered in shit and ruin the atmosphere.
Ruin your trainers.
But I remember when this was the last video to get completed, as well as getting shot, last video to go live on YouTube. And I literally had finished it something like 5 hours before we launched Pangs. It was right to the wire. It was like nights of staying up to like 3-4 in the morning, getting it done, cutting it together, color grading it, making it work. And we had a bit of a, let's say, a conflict of what we thought one part of the video should be, having these eyes appear in the sky in the video. And I remember we almost had to toss a coin for it, because I think, Neil, you were quite up for it. You quite liked that bit, and I wasn't too sure.
It looked great, yeah. I think it was, some people really liked it. Some people, I can't remember who didn't like it and who did. I know I really liked it. I think initially it was in the video quite a bit more. I think it was 2 or 3 more shots of it, and in the end I think we compromised to just have one shot of each pair of eyes in the sky, and it probably works best like that. But yeah, I really liked it. I just thought it was something really different.
So the next track of Pangs is Forest Beyond the Trees. I think that was the first video we started shooting. And again, this is one we were all involved in. And we had a lot of fun at Absolute Music.
You sort of came to us and said, right, basically, stand in front of the screen. I'm going to film you. And then you're going to layer some sort of...
Shrubbery.
Foliage.
Some ferns, some evergreens, whatever.
Papyri.
Yeah, a couple of geraniums in there. And you sort of had this vision, and we just went, you know what, you've nailed a couple of videos already. We'll sort of go with you on this one. And yeah, like you said, we filmed it. It was during the practice, wasn't it? Upstairs in Absolute Music. Yeah. And we all had a turn in front of the green screen, so to speak. And we didn't see nothing of it for like months later. Yeah, I think you did a really good job, Tom. A bit like Matt with his 4-track. He goes, well, he's got the gear. He must know what he's doing.
I do remember feeling really, really self-conscious filming that, like miming along to these parts. And I don't think we didn't even have a finished version of the song, did we? So by that point, is that right? And
I think we'd recorded it, but we didn't have like the final mix. So it was a bit touch and go at times to nail things in sync, I think.
It was a bit, I know what you mean, Matt. Like, it was a bit like, where do I look? Do I look like I'm playing naturally? Do I overplay, or do I play precisely? Or do I, sort of play up to the camera?
It also didn't help the fact that everyone else was like behind the camera and off camera, and keeping a straight face was almost impossible for everybody. Like trying to look kind of like semi-cool or like semi, together when you're playing your instrument. And there's loads of outtakes of everyone just cracking up.
My favourite bit of the video is when Darren looks directly down the lens. It's almost like he's looking into your soul. I think it's a bit like in the second half of the video where everyone's like fading in and out sort of quite quickly. And it comes to Darren and he's just like it's looked like he's on like a dating app or something. Like an introduction video goes, "Hi, I'm Darren. I play drums and drink whiskey."
I'm so glad you guys trusted me on this video for Forest, because it's quite you guys are just filming against this like blank wall, and I'm there, like going, yeah, we're going to put some like trees and stuff over top of you. It's going to look really cool. And like I think I showed you like a little test video of me trying to give you an idea of what I had in mind, but it wasn't quite the finished product, and it's just basically me dancing against a whitewash wall doing some silly dance moves, and that was like the best thing I could show you guys with my intentions.
I was sold when I saw that.
Honestly, that footage was as hilarious. Like, how best to describe it? Essentially, you were just trialing lots of different motions to see how it would pick up. So a lot of it was walking across the shot from left to right or back to forward, looking at the camera in this almost like kind of Mr. Bean style approach. But then other times you just like pop up from the bottom of the shot, or like stick your head out from the side. But the best one was you flapping your arms like a bird, but then at the same time as you flapping your arms, which are ridiculously long anyway, you are bobbing your body up and down like in a kind of counter move to the way the arms were going. It was like, the best way to describe that actually is, when you put unscrewing a bottle and you have those the cork bottle openers that have the arms, and as the thing goes down, the arms go up, and vice versa. That's what it looked like, and it was hilarious.
Well, hilarious, and also convinced you guys that this was the right move to make for the video.
The funniest proof of concept there's ever been.
Yeah, the other part of the video, not just us filming you guys, or all of us in this room, was I had to go out again with a bit of Boom's help on one occasion and another occasion by myself, just go and film some trees and leaves.
Oh, you filmed that?
Yeah.
I just assumed that was stock footage.
No, I went out for like probably 6 hours, just filming trees and leaves.
I bet anybody that was sat in the gardens at that time, like when they did the people watching, was just watching you. Oh, he's filming that tree now. Oh, he's turned around.
Yeah, he must love those trees. He's a conservationist, maybe.
You'll probably be forever known as that guy in the bush to those ladies.
Wow.
And maybe a few other ladies. No, it's not getting to that.
You're in that bush.
George W.
I was just very grateful it all came together in the edit and looked as well as I hoped, and it just, I think we executed it well, and just looks cool. So the final music video we'll talk a bit about tonight is the final track on Pangs, which is End of Disco, and it has our very own Matthew in the starring role, pretty much a solo starring role, walking around the mean streets of Zagreb and Županja, Čakovec, Zabok, I think, on our second tour of Croatia. How did you feel, Matthew, when I sort of pitched you the idea that you were just going to be front and center of this music video and be in every shot of it?
It is one of those things where at first you do feel really self-conscious, like you're just walking around and just walk into the shop and you've got a camera like a few feet away from you, and then after a while it just becomes more like a weird pest following you around. And then it's just like, that's Tom doing his thing. But I actually felt really sorry for you, Tom, because we're in these beautiful cities, this beautiful country, and you spent most of those, was it 4 or 5 days, just mostly staring at me rather than the surroundings. Like there's just so much more that you could have been filming rather than me, but I'm very flattered that you wanted to spend your whole holiday looking at me. It's very nice.
Secretly, you were thinking, my time has come. Finally, a video about me.
I mean, I'm pretty much the Ringo of the band.
He saw Darren looking straight into the lens in the last video, and he thought, I'm having a piece of that.
Yeah.
I'm getting a piece of this action.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was we actually shot this second, I think, in the kind of sequence that we shot them. And it just seemed like it's such a unique opportunity when we're in Croatia to make a music video, because it's just so different, and to where obviously we are 99% of the time, let's make a cool video. So just ended up just shooting Matt, as he says, wherever he was, just trying to find a cool frame, trying to catch him unawares, trying to catch him. Sort of some of it was a bit more staged and planned, like walk from this bit to this bit. Let's do this. Let's go out and film some bits. But it was very much, fly by the seat of your pants. Let's just go and film stuff, and just we'll discover what we've got when we come back to England, and just make it in the edit. And that's basically what we did. And we got some really cool stuff, like really varied stuff that we just wouldn't get anywhere else, and it just makes it such a unique video. It was like a documentary almost. It was just like film what we can, where we can, and if something happens to be in the shot, and we use that shot, that's what was there. And like I say, that it wasn't intentional to film, because obviously the song is about like it's a man trying to reconnect with a lost love in a foreign land, or he's lost touch. So obviously it's a continuation, we said, of the story in Sparks in the Dark. So it made sense that Matt would have a disconnection from perhaps a love interest or a lady who you might see, which might remind him of a lost love or something. So it kind of, the video discovered itself as we were editing it, but it made sense that Matt was pretty much by himself throughout, and you would see fleeting glimpses of perhaps a woman, or a conversation he's missed, or there's a lot of shots of phones as well, pay phones in the video, and that was a conscious decision to include those as well, because obviously the hook of the song is "I need a phone call," or the opening line, "I need a phone call."
I'm calling me.
That's it.
You're
Yeah,
calling me.
so one of those three. And so yeah, that was obviously an intentional point to include a lot of telephone booths in the video. And I didn't really know what to do with these shots. I thought, obviously that relates to the lyrics. That's, we get shots of Matt next to a phone booth because that's in the lyrics. But why am I doing it? And it dawned on me at the airport, literally before we boarded the plane, that I should have him pick up the receiver of the phone to make this call that he's been debating to make the whole video. And that was shot right at the death of, like, before we were boarding the plane, and sort of gives it a nice closure to the video, I think. Has anyone got any other favourite moments? Because you guys were all there in pretty much just out of shot in the background. Well, I say not in the background, behind me or around me when we were filming it. It looks like Matt's just by himself on a tour of Croatia.
There's one other shot in the video which I think is stunning, but obviously because I was there for most of it, I knew where a lot of them were. I knew the context of them. But there's one shot that every time I see the video, I can't place where it was, and I'll try and describe it as best I can. It's a wide shot of Matt, and he looks like he's almost in like a cell, or like a prison cell. Like he's really small, and there's this massive kind of, almost like, it looks like a metal dome that he's surrounded in, and I can't.
Like a concrete cube, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was outside a museum.
Where that was
outside Zagreb Museum of
Art or something.
Yeah,
It's like a convention center or something.
And it's amazing. Every time I see it, I think, like, it doesn't look like you're outside. It looks like you're indoors in a self-contained kind of area, and it looks like that where you're stood is just like the only space there is. This box, essentially, this tall box. And every time I think, can't place that, and it looks amazing.
I think it was actually a sort of installation as part of an exhibit, and it just sort of stayed there. Yeah, it's this big sort of concrete cube thing you can go in.
Do you remember the other excursion that made it into the music video? Jack's very hungover. Day after, is it your actual birthday or the day after your birthday?
Ugh,
when we went
God.
to Zagreb Zoo.
It was my birthday. The day before, we'd played that festival, and we were given free drinks, which was the worst idea in the world. And then the next day, I remember we thought, right, we'll go to we had a day off, go to the zoo. It's like £10 each or something, sort of super cheap. And I remember we went to McDonald's to get a breakfast. You think, hangover, have a McDonald's, that sort of clear us out and sort us out. Yeah, it just made me worse. And we just walk around this fucking hot concrete of a fucking zoo. And we probably saw the sorriest bear I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it
that
just
was
looks
sad.
There was actually one dog there. It was a Shih Tzu.
but yeah, I guess that sort of explains why there's like a deer in there and a lion and some
sleeping
fish.
lion, isn't there?
Yeah,
You got that really cool fish. Like it's slow motion, or is the fish just really slow? But that's quite a cool shot.
There's a bit of both, yeah. But
I think
yeah,
there's
that's
a lionfish as well.
angelfish,
the white one. Is it white?
lionfish.
Angelfish.
Some sort of thing.
I thought it was a lionfish. I thought
Well,
the
they
angelfish was the one that had the light in front of it.
Yeah, well, it's a spiky motherfucker. It'll fucking know you.
Don't piss it off.
Yeah, or the lion.
Don't tell it it's moving too slow, Darren.
So Matt, you are sporting some excellent attire in this video as well, and there's one thing, it's unmissable if you like 90s football. I'd just like to so you can share with all our listeners what you were wearing for the shoot if they haven't seen the video.
Sorry, Hannah's having a drink in the background. Did you get that belch as well?
You did
I
get that, yeah.
definitely got that. I thought that was you.
That's definitely going in.
Impressive.
They had it.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
There was a question for you, Matt, in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the my classic Man United mid '90s shirt. I had it was the away strip from, I think it was the 94-95 season. So it was the black one with sharp view cam on, and I had the original of that when it came out in mid '90s, and I loved that shirt. And so I managed to buy I tracked down another replica of it, and I wore it. I didn't know if it was a good idea wearing a football shirt, an English football shirt in a foreign land. I didn't want to come across as a hooligan or a football yob, because I'm probably as far from a football yob as you can be.
It's interesting you say that, because I think there was a time when England played against Croatia around about 2005, I think, and I remember it being very hostile. And I think we were talking to a guy that we played with at Županja, and he said he actually went to England, Croatia, and he said everybody was just hurling abuse at all the English fans. And I think it could be quite a hostile place for an English football fan. I mean, while we were there, we had no trouble with anybody. You know, it's a very friendly country.
I don't think there was any sort of real purpose to it. I actually wanted to find a Dorchester Town Mighty Magpies shirt.
I remember that story so well. Obviously, I mean, I'm a big Tottenham fan, and when we were there, we were coming back from one of the gigs, and I was texting my dad to get chatting, and I was trying to get the football scores, and Matt said to me, find out how the Mighty Magpies got on, and I said, Matt, I didn't know you were a Newcastle fan. He goes, no, Dorchester.
Dorchester Town.
And we erupted with laughter, and I always remember that. Always remember you in your 90s Man United shirt asking about the Mighty Magpies.
Yeah.
Who was your favourite player, Matt? The mid 90s Man United team.
Lee Sharp, big number 5. Lee Sharp, solid as they came at the back. He was. What a guy.
Good to know.
If you're listening,
anyone else?
Lee, we're big fans.
Yeah.
Keep it sharp. If any lovely Croatian people are listening to this podcast, there's a part in the video where Matt walks past a massive bit of graffiti, and it says, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this horribly wrong, but it says Samo Ljubav. It appears about 2:07 in the video. If anyone could let us know what that means, I'd love to know, because it's cool. It looks really cool, but I don't know if it's like someone's tag or it means something. Perhaps it's something really offensive that we shouldn't put in the
I was
video.
going to say, can you imagine if it's like a really bad racial slur or something, and Matt's now the poster boy for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something about the English football fans.
Quite possibly. I'd just love to know what it means. But it made it in, and it looks really cool.
Could be about Lee Sharp.
Could be. We can only
a lot of
hope.
things are about Lee Sharp.
I just also like to say we managed to put in props to a good friend of ours, Igor, our driver / gig organizer, HGF Festival out in Croatia, who makes the video. And also shout out to our good friend Domo, who filmed the part in the video where we're all playing a gig you'll see at the end of the video, we're all going kind of crazy in slow motion. So yeah, thanks guys for helping us make the video. Much appreciated.
I think we're going to have Dobbo on when we talk about our Croatia excursions in a later episode.
Yeah, that'd be wicked. And there's a couple of shots, I think, that made it into the video. Well, there's at least we have some footage of it somewhere. We filmed where not only Matt was drunk, but I was a bit drunk as well. Do you have any recollections of that, Matt? Those filming nights?
I remember dancing with Darren at a festival.
I just remembered this. It's so good. Did that make it into the video, or was that separate video footage that we've got of them?
There's
two,
a very short snippet of it.
I think the short bit.
What happened? What was going on? Because I only vaguely remember it. But Jack, I think you recall it quite well, don't you?
Mate, I was hammered by this point. Like, I'm nowhere to be seen in this video. I don't even know where I am.
I remember there was like another band on this big stage, and it wasn't particularly, the audience wasn't particularly full. It was quite patchy, and Darren and Matt were stood near the front, and they were just having the best time, like jumping up and down, hugging each other, jumping on each other, watching this band, watching the best part of the rhythm section, absolutely having the time of their lives.
So, to kind of bring things to a close a bit tonight, for this episode, what is everyone's favourite, if you could pick one, favourite music video?
I'm gonna say "Don't Let Me Down." I think there's some great shots in that. And it was a lot of fun to make with the car lights and the smoke, and those shots of Neil in the back of the car looking very film noir-esque. And it came out really well, and it was a lot of fun to make.
For me, it's DNA Code. I'm going to give pretty much exactly the same answer as last week. It's my favorite song that we've recorded. It's my favorite song to play live. It's my favorite video. Everything about it fits together so great. I love all of the images in the video. Particularly, we didn't talk about it earlier, but there's some really nice, almost like what looked like still images of the two actors that almost look like wanted posters with that kind of sandy kind of wash color over them, that really look really cool. Like I say, you can imagine them in that kind of American Western wanted kind of sheriff's poster thing, and it just ties together so well. So yeah, DNA Code is mine by far.
Mine would be what we were just speaking about, just as in the disco. I like it, but just because watching it back, it just brings back a lot of memories. I like to say, I think it's quite different for what most local bands would do. Obviously, I guess they won't really get a chance to go out to another country, do music video, and so it's good to see a music video, that stuff you don't really recognise as like a local person. Yeah,
I just want to commend Tom and say all 5 videos are brilliant. They're all very different from each other.
They're
all, I like them all. I have to agree with Darren. I think like Enter Disco is good, not only because Matt's a handsome bugger, but those sort of memories of us being out there. And I like the ending where we're on stage, where the music crescendos, and you see Darren like pounding the drums, and it's all like slowed down, and we're all sort of locked in. And but no, yeah, I'd say it just sort of tips it for me.
Oh, obviously, thanks for your kind words. But I've got a sweet spot for all of them. But if I had to pick one, I would agree with Neil. I think DNA Code is my favourite. I'm just so pleased at how it turned out. We were just spoilt by the light during that shoot, and it just made it elevated it for me to something extra special. And I'm just so pleased it turned out like it did. So without us wrapping up the episode completely, there is one final we are going to do, which is Jack's question for the week. So I'm looking forward to this.
These podcast episodes are getting longer and longer every week. I think people would hang in on to the question at the end. I don't know how many people are listening at this point, or like on a weekly basis, or stick it to the end.
So I've got 2, and if everyone gets the first one right, and it's a bit easy, we'll try the second one. This excludes Matt. So if nobody gets it right, Matt, you win.
Why does it exclude him?
Well, let me fucking say it.
Save your questions till the end, please.
What name and number did Matt have on the back of his shirt? Ooh.
15.
I thought it was what we were talking about. I thought it was 5 sharp.
So I was going 15. Neil's going sharp. Darren, pick a number between 1 and 100, mate.
Darren loves football.
Between 1 and 20. 1 and 20. Between.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
Dan-
how many players are there normally? 20.
There's about 20 in the squad, but so Darren doesn't follow or know football. So
Big fan. Is the goalie always one?
the goalie's always one. It is not number 1.
13.
13. Right, don't reveal it, Matt. But obviously you know the number, don't you?
I know the number.
Yeah.
There wasn't a name on it, but I know the number.
That was a trick question. There was no name.
Ah.
It was number 7.
Oh.
What?
Bollocks.
Yeah,
Who
my
would be-
original shirt that I had as a kid had number 5 on.
You're not listening,
But
boys.
this one had 7.
So who wore number 7?
What, in the
Bonus point
90s?
for anyone?
What, we're talking.
Yeah,
Mid-90s.
King Eric.
Beckham?
Yeah,
Was
it's
King
slightly,
Eric.
slightly too early for Beckham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cantona.
Oh, of course
Big
it was,
Eric.
yeah.
The other question, if you wanted to know, what brand of telephone was it that kept popping up in the video?
Oh, that's a good question.
What
I
what
think
phone?
I know it. I think I know it.
Go on then.
I think it's T-Mobile.
You're going T-Mobile. Tom?
Is it 'cause of the pink? I reckon Neil's got it.
I'm going to say this might be just making up a brand of telephones, but Telefonica.
I was going to say
Telefonica.
Telefonica. Mhm.
It was T-Mobile.
Yes, I finally got one right.
Well, yeah.
Well done, Neil.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to celebrate that like old Lee Sharpwood winning the league.
So is that all tied then? Has everyone got a point now?
I think everybody's got a point because I mean I know I think you forgot to mention it last week, Jack, when you did the running total. But you gave yourself a point from the previous week when none of us got it
Yeah.
right. So I think everybody's got one now.
Everyone's got one. Everyone's a fan.
Everyone gets one.
I still think Jack shouldn't get a point for that because technically he didn't get it right.
Didn't need to.
Okay, fair enough.
My quiz, my rules. I got 10 points that week actually.
Don't like it. We'll do the podcast with 4 of us.
Yeah.
We'll bring Domo in.
One
One in, one out. Oh, that photo.
That photo, we quickly just got to mention, whilst we were in Croatia, there was a photo.
It was the first time we went, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a photo of us stood outside a bus stop, and Tom
It's a
had
really
gone.
cool photo
Yeah.
that Tom took, and it was
Tom-
like black and white, but it had like a kind of a red hue to it as well, I think.
Yeah, it's quite a wide shot, and we stood there. We're like looking at him, and Domo, our friend, is like stood with us, and it looks like a band photo, and we were like, "Oh, that's good," like that.
We should
But I
use
think-
that as our marketing material. We should
Yeah.
use it maybe on the album. And Tom said, yeah, but the only problem is I'm not in it. None of us noticed.
None of us knows. That looks good. There's 5 of us. Yeah, bang. We're all looking the same way. So
Interchangeable. It's fine. He's my
Yeah.
Croatian brother. It's fine. So if you guys, anyone listening, go out and check our music. Go and check out our music videos on our YouTube channel. And there's loads of other live videos on there as well. But we'd love to hear what your favourite one is.
pull your microphone away. You suddenly got like really loud.
What, like this? So thanks for listening to this week's episode. I'd love to hear what you think about these podcasts. Just get in touch through the usual ways. Big shout out to all the carers out there and the key workers, still doing a great job keeping this country going. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time for another chinwag about Empire Affairs Live. Stay humble.
Schlemmy thunder.